All right, I just want to go over some of the 5G studies that are out there raising concern about some of the issues with 5G. All right, so let's start with this article right here. It's on takebackyourpower.net and it's titled Wireless Industry Confesses No Studies Show 5G is Safe. Okay. Last week, U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal grilled wireless industry representatives who admitted the industry has done zero health and safety studies on 5G technology. Meanwhile, dozens of independent studies indicate that 5G is a risk to all biological life. Washington, D.C. During today's Senate Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee hearing on the future of 5G wireless technology and their impact on the American people and economy, U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal raised concerns with the lack of any scientific research and data on the technology's potential health risk. Blumenthal blasted the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, and the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, government agencies jointly responsible for ensuring that cell phone technologies are safe to use, for failing to conduct any research into the safety of 5G technology and instead engaging in bureaucratic finger pointing and deferring to industry. In December 2018, Blumenthal and U.S. Representative Anna G. Eshel sent a letter to FCC Commissioner Brendan Carr seeking answers regarding potential health risks posed by new 5G wireless technology. At today's hearing, Blumenthal criticized Carr for failing to provide answers and instead just echoing the general statements of the FDA, which shares regulatory responsibility for the cell phones with FCC. Blumenthal also decried the FDA's statements as pretty unsatisfactory. During an exchange with wireless industry representatives, Blumenthal asked them whether they have supported research on the safety of 5G technology and potential links between radio frequency and cancer, and the industry representatives conceded they have not. And it continues on with a statement made by Blumenthal. And it goes on to say, in November 2018, the National Toxicology Program released the final results of the longest and most expensive study to date on cell phones and cancer. Those studies found some evidence of a link to cancer, at least in male rats. However, the study only focused on the risk associated with 2G and 3G cell phones. The latest 5G wireless technology relies on the deployment of many more new antennas and transmitters that are clustered lower to the ground and closer to homes and schools. There has been even more limited research with respect to the health ramifications of 5G technology, and the FCC has thus far failed to adequately explain how they have determined 5G is safe. All right, so let's go to the next article. This article is from Environmental Health Trust. It's titled 5G and the IoT, Scientific Overview of Human Health Risk. 5G is the term used to describe the next generation of mobile networks beyond the 4G LTE mobile networks commonly used today. 5G is intended to be the technology that allows the Internet of Things to exist and tie all Internet-connected devices together. Currently, there is no standard for 5G networks in place, and it will be a combination of a variety of frequencies and modulations. Industry is developing exactly what 5G will be, as the standard has not been set yet. It is assumed that 5G networks will not become commercially available until 2020, but several cities are rolling out 5G as test areas now. Verizon and Sprint have announced test cities for 5G, which include Sacramento, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Dallas, Miami, and New York. A first glance at U.S. government websites such as the CDC and EPA could lead you to believe that this radiation is safe. Yet over 240 scientists and doctors from 41 nations who have published research in the field have appealed to the United Nations, calling for urgent action to reduce these ever-growing wireless exposures, and they wrote the FCC for a moratorium on the rollout of 5G, citing the serious risks that to human health and the environment. Published peer-reviewed science already indicates that the current wireless technologies of 2G, 3G, and 4G in use today with our cell phones, computers, and wearable tech creates radio frequency exposures, which poses a serious health risk to humans, animals, and the environment. Scientists are cautioning that before rolling out 5G, research on human health effects urgently needs to be done first to ensure the public and environment are protected. However, instead of prudent public health measures to ensure the public safety, governments such as the United States are quickly rolling out 5G networks in neighborhoods and are enacting various state and federal regulations to streamline and fast track the rollout. These regulations will end the ability of communities to halt and be part of the decision-making process in this massive 5G infrastructure build-out. Okay, and it goes on with some statements from a couple other studies, and you guys can read through that if you're interested. All right, let's go to this last report. This one is from Consumer Watch. It's on the San Francisco.cbs local website, and it says wireless carriers are installing millions of them across the country to enable the new, faster 5G cell phone technology. While many are looking forward to faster cell service, many are also asking, are there legitimate health concerns? That question is keeping John Heiston up at night. Outside his bedroom window, he can see a new pole where Verizon will soon install a next-generation cell tower. This will be a big tower generating lots of RF outside of our bedroom 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for many years, he said. It's called a small cell or distributed antenna system. The industry says they're safe. Many in Piedmont aren't convinced, including the Heistons. Our daughter is a cancer survivor, John Heiston explained. 13-year-old Sophia Heiston has been one of many petitioning the city council to deny this cell tower. I mostly talked about my cancer and how it affected me. Even though you're not supposed to talk about health issues, I still did, Heiston said. However, according to the federal law, the city can't consider health concerns. It's outlined in a small section of the Telecommunications Act based on science from 1996, back when we were still talking on cell phones that looked like bricks. I find it really unfair, said Heiston. If cities do consider health, cell companies can sue them. So with few legal arguments to deny tower, they're popping up outside bedroom windows and school campuses despite objections from across the country. 5G can be a tremendous boon to California, but only if it can be put up quickly and easily, said Hayward Assembly member Bill Quirk. Quirk co-authored legislation that would make it even harder for cities like Piedmont to object to a tower. You wouldn't have to go through the planning commission, through the city council, Quirk explained. Quirk, a former NASA scientist, says he may resurrect the bill that was recently vetoed by Governor Brown. So it goes on, and it's just showing that there is some pushback to it as 5G. Not everyone is excited for this to be rolling out, and there is groups of people who are calling for studies to be done on the concerns regarding health, and there also needs to be some changes in the legislation regarding the rollout of this 5G technology. All right, so I just would implore you guys to look into the different studies and spread the information the best way you can. All right, y'all take it easy.